Tonight on Cardinal Sports Live, the men's and women's soccer teams try to start a streak in the Suniacs, while the volleyball team rounds up a couple of wins.
We also have some updates on men's and women's cross country, as well as Dave Edwards and Josh Luttrell stopping on by to give us their opinions on the upcoming winter sports seasons. We're about to turn it up here on Cardinal Sports Live.
Welcome to Cardinal Sports Live, brought to you by Play It Again Sports. I'm Colleen Brandt.
And I'm Derek Palaki. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Now, Colleen, it seems like every week we start with volleyball. A good trend, I would suppose.
I think so.
We talked 2 weeks ago, They won their big home invitational.
Yep.
Last week, not so much, and kind of a up and down week this time.
I think it was pretty much split down the middle. You know, they had a tough loss against Middlebury, which we're going to get into in a second, but then they also went 2-for-1 in the Nazareth Purple and Gold Invitational.
Right.
So, you know, just starting off on volleyball, talking about volleyball, you know, they're pretty much split down the middle.
I don't think Dino O'Connell will be completely upset with the way they're playing so far.
I don't think so. But as I just said, Middlebury,
Right.
They had a game. It was their second to last home game. So let's get right into that. It was a tough 3 sets, but they took on the Middlebury Panthers in Tuesday night's match. As I said earlier, it was a quick 3 sets for the Lady Cards. It was Laura Dehill who dominated the net for the Cards with a game high of 16 kills. But on the other side of the net, the Panthers had a whole front line of hitters with strong arms. As you can see here, you know, whoever the Panthers setter just set it up for, they dominated. As you see here, they could not return the ball. And it was Maggie Schrantz who had a lot of spikes on this game. It was a good game for her, and they returned it. This was the theme for the match. It was back and forth action. See here, another kill by the Panthers. One of Plattsburgh's top players, Rosie Cummings, was denied several times. The Panthers figured out where she was going to position the ball every time, shutting her down with the blocks, leaving the Cards with other potential players like the setter who just dumped it over, scoring for the Cards. It was an endless battle back and forth. As I said, you know, the top hitters for Plattsburgh were Laura Dehill and Maggie Schrantz right there with another kill, but it wasn't enough. The Panthers swept the Cardinals in their own home court in 3 sets, losing the last 3, 25-22. I'm here now at Plattsburgh's middle, Laura Dehill. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Now, it was a tough 3 sets. It was really tough. But you had a game high of 16 kills. What did or didn't work for you guys as a team?
I think just we go into a game and we'll either start down by like 2 points or we'll start up and we get in our heads, we're like, oh, we're up. We can let up a little bit. And you can't do that in volleyball. So, you're not in the game. And we let up a little too much, and then by the time we start playing our best again, it was too late. Like that last set, we were down, I think it was 15-22, and we came back 22-25. They did not expect that, but we got to learn to play an entire game through.
Now, during the second match of the Purple and Gold Invitational, the Lady Cards battled Buffalo State in 4 sets. Rosie Cummings had a match high of 15 kills and 25 digs, which helped the Cards take the first set. However, they couldn't stop the Bengals after that. In each set to follow, Buffalo took a strong lead and never looked back after that. Amanda Wickers had a match high with 25 digs, but Buffalo held an 11-5 vantage in blocks, stopping Plattsburgh's offense.
Coming off another loss to Buffalo State, it looked like on paper that the Cardinals were set for a loss against 15-4 Nazareth. We're talking about 15-4 against the Plattsburgh Cardinals, whose record isn't as well. Well, Plattsburgh stormed to an early 2-set lead, winning 25-16 and then 25-22. Nazareth proved their record right in the next 2 sets, though, taking those 25-18 and 25-19 respectively. But in true Plattsburgh fashion, what the heck do you think happened? They were able to win an incredible 5th set, 14-3. And in the deciding set, Rosie Cummings continued her great year with 19.5 points and 17 kills.
The Lady Cards were an entirely different team, sweeping Ithaca in 3 sets in the final match of the Purple and Gold Invitational. It was once again Rosie Cummings who dominated on the court with a match high of 18 kills. Laura Dia was the only other Cardinal to reach double digits as well, with 11 kills during the match. On the defensive side, it was senior Amanda Wickers who racked up 18 digs, stopping the Bombers from gaining the lead. Tomorrow, the Lady Cards will make their final appearance at Memorial Hall as they will take on St. Lawrence beginning at 7 p.m.
So let's take a look at this for a second.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, great. Last
Yes.
week, not so much. And to finish off this week with 2 straight wins, a very impressive one against
was.
Natherus, might we add, who was 15-4 going in.
It was, and what I was just so not proud that we got it right was the fact that Laura D. Hill understood what we've been saying in these past couple of weeks, was how like the Cards get the lead, but they can't hold on to it. And we mentioned last week how they're on the fence. Either they win by 2 or lose by 2, but a win's a win. So, they're on a 2-game winning streak so far. They play tomorrow, St. Lawrence, as I said, starting at 7 p.m. And then Friday they play Cortland away at 5.
That's right, but when we come back, we will see how the women's soccer team did last weekend.
And we have Josh Luttrell joining us at the desk to talk Cardinal basketball. CSL will be right back.
For a movie watching experience that everyone is sure to enjoy, come on down to Regal Cinemas. Regal has everything perfect for your movie watching needs. A variety of movies, comfortable seating, a full concession stand, and discounts for Plattsburgh State students and Regal Club members. Regal also offers Value Days, every day of the week from 4 to 6. For an unforgettable movie watching experience that you and your family are sure to enjoy, come on down to Regal Cinemas.
PSTV. It'll blow.
Their 2-game winning streak came to an end as the women's soccer team fell to Oswego 2-0. Plattsburgh offense was slim to none with only 2 shots on goal, while Oswego had 3 in just the first 10 minutes of the game. In the net for the Cards was Christy Kirkpatrick, who made 7 saves for the Cards, but it wasn't enough as the Lakers scored both their goals within the first half. The next day, Plattsburgh left Oswego and traveled over to Cortland for more SUNYAC action.
And after the tough loss to rival Oswego, the Lady Cards looked to bounce back the next day, like Colleen said, at Cortland. After a scoreless first period, the Red Dragons were first to get on the board just over 56 minutes into the second period. Amanda Margolis netted a penalty kick to the lower right corner for her second goal of the season. Plattsburgh would answer back in the 71st minute when Lauren Gagnier sent a one-timer 25 yards into the upper right off a loose ball. This one would go into overtime, however, and it wouldn't take long. In the 96th minute, Kelly Knight of the Red Dragons poked the winning goal inside the right post for a 2-1 win.
These Lady Cards, Derek, they're on a 2-game losing streak so far.
That's definitely not something we like to see, especially how well the men's have been playing, especially how well the volleyball team's been playing after that loss to Buffalo State. It's sad to see a little bit the women's side kind of slipping there, but...
It's true, and I was talking to the soccer coach today, and she was saying she isn't very happy when they lose. So it was a touchy subject talking to her, but she was saying how if they're not the first team to score, they aren't going to conquer. They don't have that momentum. So as you can see here, at the 11th, they go against Union Oneonta. That's a home game at 4. And the next day, they play New Paltz. That's a home game as well. She was saying, I asked what her plans were for this weekend, and she just simply said, beat the teams. So that was, a woman of few words right there. But speaking of potentials and hoping to win, I have the pleasure to introduce Josh Luttrell, who's once again back. He is our men's basketball analyst. Josh, how are you?
Feeling good. How are you, Colleen?
Lovely. I'm just lovely. So basketball is my favorite time of the year. I bet it's your favorite time of the year too.
Right there with you.
You're doing the color again?
I'm doing the color again.
Phenomenal.
It's gonna be
Awesome.
exciting.
It is. So I was trying to think of things to say, to tweak you a little bit, get you going. But it's just tough because they played so well last season. They played so well. And, no one was graduating from that team, but a really big surprise was that Kalik Parker left. What do you think about that?
Kalik was their head guy, the three-point guy, came off the bench. He was the spark of that team. He was one of the role players, and he's going to be deeply missed. Like I said, leading in 3 points, he got up too. I mean, from outside the arc, 2 feet, 4 feet, doesn't matter where he was on the court, he could hit the three. So that's a key part that we're missing for this basketball team.
Now, have you talked to the coach, Curl? Has he said anything? Like, are they going to fill his spot? I heard through the grapevine, I heard that the new recruit, Xavier Thomas, is the man, to look for. So is he going to, do they look to him to replace Kalik, or what does he say about that?
The kid's phenomenal. Athleticism is the definition of Xavier Thomas. The guy's a freak of nature. He can jump so high. He's overall a great defensive player, steals. He can fast break with Chris Manning. Chris Manning's a great fast break player. But he's going to be one of those role players along with Edward Correa, who also can shoot the three. So the three is a spot that needs to be fulfilled for this basketball team, and hopefully Xavier Thomas can put that spark on the bench.
Now, speaking, you said leaders. John Perez is back. He's back. He's feeling fresh. Have you talked to him, or have you talked? I keep going back to the coach, but these new people are coming on, so I want to know the lowdown.
John's still the leader of this team, and he's not as much. He scores the points and whatnot, but he's more the voice of this team. As comparison, I'd put him as like a Ray Lewis. He's the vocal point of this team. He's been the leader. He's been there for 3-4 years now. He's the face of the team. He gets the team fired up, and that injury last year was definitely killer. Come playoff time, wasn't able to perform or play. It hurt them deeply, but now they know they got this year to rebuild on.
You think I think Ezra Hodgson is the man to look for. You don't think so?
He's a key guy. I'll give him that. He's definitely one of those guys that has stepped up. But John Perez, Shamoy McIntosh.
I don't know.
Shamoy leads the team in points. He's definitely a leader.
I don't know, Josh. We'll see. We'll have to make a bet on this and keep our viewers up to it. But next we have soccer. But coming up next, as I said, we have soccer. But thank you, Josh, again for joining us.
Thank you, Colleen.
We'll see you at CSL. We'll be right back.
16 Route 9 in Plattsburgh is a great venue for your next party or to take family and friends. Enjoy the scenic views of Lake Champlain while dining on the main deck or inside. Known for seafood, steak, and spirits, its friendly atmosphere will keep you coming back. Open from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. each night until New Year's.
So you guys are new at PSTV, right?
Yeah.
You guys have any questions?
What do you do in PSTV?
Snap the pieces together.
Alright, I got a role for you. Anyone? How about you girls?
I'm Anthony Powers, and let's get cooking. Hi, baby.
Welcome me back into CSL. Colleen Brandt, Derek Palaki, along with you. We got into some basketball, I should say, not soccer. That's what you were saying. We got into some basketball a little bit with Josh Luttrell, but we're going to get right back into some men's soccer. They took on Oswego. Let's check out how that one went along. It was a beautiful day. Oswego making the long trip up to Plattsburgh for this important SUNYAC game. Plattsburgh came in 7-1-1 compared to Oswego's 0-7-1. You see the hard hats out there. They were loving it. Oswego, though, 0-7-1, uncharacteristic. You think Plattsburgh, Oswego, you think rivalry. You think high energy. Not even 3 minutes in, Nick Perella charges into the zone, tries the angle shot, a good save by John Runge. Watch Alexis Archilla come out of nowhere, heads it, goalie off his hand, but that one goes in. They're going to call that 1-0 Plattsburgh. Lakers were not without their chances. Watch Zach Sicoccio stutter steps and rifles it to the net, but Mitchell Jordan, Herculean type save. A rivalry game will have its share of roughhousing as the Cards and Lakers get into it here. No love lost. Tom Green with a chance close. Every easy save for Runge. He had 6 on the day. Matt Hamilton on a free kick skies it, but Runge is able to send that one away, and the Lakers dodge a big bullet there, still 1-0. Now let's go. Tom Green on a corner kick, sends that one express right to Nick Economou, who heads it in. The team loves it, and you're going to see right here how much the team loves their fans. What's the first person he comes, even evades one of his own players to go give some love to the fans who are coming out there to support him. A big hug there. Always great to see, and you know the Hard Hats are going to love it too as they're cheering. Oswego with another opportunity, but Plattsburgh's defense was just stellar today, only allowing 2 shots on goal. They win this one 2-0. 8-1-1 now is Plattsburgh. 0-8-1 is Oswego, and that's a great game for Plattsburgh. We should say we talk about a rivalry game, but Oswego coming in 0-7-1 of their own.
I was going to say, if they lost that game, I would have to go in there and talk to those boys myself, because that would have been awful. That would have just been nuts. I can't believe that. But no, it was great though. You know, they were dominant on both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
But the following day, the men team went up against Cortland, and they didn't have as good as luck as they had last game. So as I said, they took on Cortland, and this was an extremely physical conference match, more physical than they've ever played. They were at it. They were guns a-blazing. So it was back and forth action throughout the entire first half. It was scoreless. No one scored, and several attempts came from Nick Perella, who was dominant offensively and defensively. Not only, there were other players as well, pushing and shoving going on. There were calls made against both teams. Both teams were not happy, which only fueled the fires. Mitchell Jordan had a tough game too. In the net, he made 2 stops against the Red Dragons, but that wasn't enough, however. And going into the second half, tension rose even more. As I said, you know, they're getting physical, they're having calls made against them, they're not going to like what is said, and as you can see, they're having some bickering, fuels firing. But with this, the adrenaline pumps within the Cards, leading to Tom Green, who gets the rebound from the attempt shot and scores, putting the Cards up 1-0. See right there, a nice tap in off the rebound. The Cards' adrenaline led throughout the rest of the game, and once again, Perella is being physical on the field. But Cortland was not giving up defensively, and you can see here Jordan's tip and a nice save on there. Now in the 85th minute, the Red Dragons tied it up with the shot in the top right corner, which led the game to go into overtime. See, once again, the man of the game, Nick Perella, he becomes double teamed here, but gets the call on him. So that was a call against Cortland. They were not happy about that one. Now in the last few minutes of overtime, it was Cortland's Darren McCormick who shot right there, but it was denied. But it was rebounded and scored, giving Cortland the lead and the win, 2-0 in overtime. Sad day for Plattsburgh.
Guns a-blazing, huh? Guns a-blazing.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, so this was your first time playing since freshman year after breaking your hip. How did it feel to get back on the turf? I saw you pacing back and forth. You were itching to play. How did it feel?
It was a great feeling. I mean, I haven't played in over a year, so I had to get the jitters out, you know. Had 10 minutes. It was great to be on the field, though, so I'm happy with myself.
Happy with yourself. Now, it was an intense game. It got more intense in the second half and had to go into overtime, actually. So what did Coach Waterbury say to try to get you guys pumped to attempt the victory?
You know, we just had to play our game, come together, and it would come. But, I mean, Cortland's a great team, so they had the better day, really.
He was so sad. He was so sad. He broke his hip, Nate Economou, broke his hip playing freshman year, was out until April, had surgery, and then came back for 10 minutes. But even when he wasn't playing, he was grabbing the players, yelling at them, telling them, you know, because their defense was just not what it was in the Oswego game at all.
Now, he's a junior now.
He's redshirted,
yeah. His brother, Nick, who we were talking about earlier, you're like, oh, we're going to talk about, what's his name, Matt?
Nate.
Come on. And I was like, no, Nick. You're like, no, Nate. I'm like, no, Nick. We found out that Nick, who's got 2 goals on the year, was scored in the last game. Yeah. So you know Nate's going to hold his head up high a little bit.
Yep.
The fact that they got the loss, but the fact that his brother has been his younger brother, we should say, a little bit of sibling rivalry
soccer
there.
genes run in the family.
Definitely.
But
good to see, though.
It was so sad, though. I was surprised how many Cortland fans, parents came and stuff like that. But hopefully the men can redeem themselves next week.
Definitely.
But when we come back, we have Dave Edwards, who enters the ring of CSL Fire to talk about the upcoming hockey season, and cross country is running again. So don't go anywhere. CSL will be right back.
16 Plattsburgh is a great venue for your next party or to take family and friends. Enjoy the scenic views of Lake Champlain while dining on the main deck or inside. Known for seafood, steak, and spirits, its friendly atmosphere will keep you coming back. Open from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. each night until New Year's.
So you guys are new at PSTV, right?
Yeah.
You guys have any questions?
What do you do in PSTV?
Snap the pieces together.
Alright, I got a role for you. Anyone? How about you girls?
I'm Anthony Powers, and let's get cooking. Hi, baby.
Welcome back to Cardinal Sports Live. The Lady Cards crossed the finish line at 11th place during the Geneseo Cross Country Invitational this past Saturday. It was Kelly Driscoll who was the second SUNYAC runner to cross the finish line at 6th place, amongst 268 runners. And not far behind her was Katie Eamon, who finished in 13th place. The Lady Cards racked up a total of 296 team points and will head to Canton this Saturday to take part in the Hoffman Invitational, hosted by St. Lawrence University.
The Plattsburgh men's cross-country team traveled just outside Rochester to compete in the Geneseo Invitational this past week. The Cardinals would finish 14th out of 20 teams competing, I should say. Ethan Vinson proved again to be the key piece for the Cardinals as he finished 94th and was the only Cardinal to break the top 100. Teammates Brendan Connor and Zach Rose finished in 102nd and 103rd place, respectively. They will travel to Canton later this week to compete in the Hoffman Invitational, hosted by St. Lawrence, as you can see, and we talk about it, 387 points, 14th overall out of 20, and Ethan Vinson, 27, 28, and 3, his 94th place finish. Good job, men's across the country. Let's see if they can keep it up on their next one. But we're now joined by Dave Edwards, the second voice, the voice behind the voice of Cardinal men's hockey. He's our hockey analyst and color, I should say. Let's talk about the team. Dave, it's great to have you, number one.
Is it really great to have you, Derek?
I think it is.
I mean, I'm a little nervous. You're a legend. You're Derek Polacki.
Well, thank you.
This is huge.
I'm ecstatic to have you here.
All right, well, that's awesome.
2011, champions against Oswego. 2012, champions against Fredonia. 2013, runners-up. Why couldn't they get the third one?
All right, but first, before we mention, I just want to say congratulations to Bob Emery. It's his 25th season coaching Plattsburgh, so just a big shout-out to Coach Emery.
Definitely.
And last season, they played Oswego 3 times. They won 2 games, one in Oswego, one at home. But when it came to the championship game, the SUNYAC championship just couldn't get the job done. It's not a shot against the team. They played well last year, 19-7-1, 13-2-1 in the conference. So not the team was bad, just the biggest game of the season, they decided not to play their best game.
All right, let's talk about Matthew Cadeau, the goalie. Phenomenal season last year. Finally solidified himself as the go-to goalie. Does he live up to his title of the number 1 goalie again?
I think he does. Matthew Cadeau, when the team's not playing their best, Matthew Cadeau is easily their best player.
Right.
I mean, last season, 15-7-1, 32-13-4 overall record. I know I'm throwing a lot of stats out there. It doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people.
Stats are good.
But Matthew Cadeau stands on his head when that team's not playing well. 1.78 goals against average. Right there. That number alone tells me that Cadeau is ready. He's poised. He's his senior year.
Right.
It's his last chance. He wants to get that big win.
Well, let's see if he can get it. Let's hop in the Wayback Machine here for a minute.
Okay.
2010, 2011, 5 freshmen on the team. 2011, 2012, 11 freshmen on the team. Last season, 2012, 2013, 11 freshmen on the team. What's with this Bob Emery youth movement?
I mean, the best to what I can think about it is that Bob Emery gives the freshmen a chance to play.
Right.
Last season, 4 out of the top 5 or top 6 point getters were freshmen. So they know coming into this program, plus it's one of the best Division III programs in the SUNYAC, obviously. They get the opportunity to come in and play as freshmen. So Bob Emery knows, the players know that they can come in, they can play. They're given an opportunity. They're given a chance to grow. And now all those freshmen that you mentioned last year, a lot of them, Mike Warren and I, my good friend Mike Warren decided to coin them the freshman connection. they're going to play just as well this year now as sophomore, second-year players. So
The freshman connection. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
A little mystery question
Uh-oh.
here. You are the commentator. You're the color commentator, I should say.
Bring it on.
For Cardinals hockey.
Yeah.
Let's get your best Mike Warren story.
Oh, my goodness. My best Mike Warren story is every Mike Warren story. Mike Warren, if you don't know Mike Warren, I'm sorry. You need to meet this man. He is a character in his own right. I also do, I don't know if you know this, Derek, I do quite the Mike Warren impression. If you
Oh,
want
do
to hear
you?
it.
Well, if you'd like to indulge us.
I would like to indulge
Do we have
us.
time? Yes, please.
We have time. Okay. You need to get into character, for one thing, so you got to get the head right in. Welcome to the Ronald B. Stafford Ice Arena tonight. Plattsburgh State Cardinals take on the Oswego State Lakers. I'm alongside Dave Edwards, and we're ready to play some hockey.
And then you would go, that's
then
right, Mike.
I'd say, that's right, Mike. We have a game tonight that's going to be fantastic. And see, I'm not a character like Mike Warren. Mike Warren is above. He's like you. You know, you yourself, you got to admit, you're not Derek Pleck. You step outside that body. I saw you out here, you know, checking your makeup. And you are, hey, good for you, man. I appreciate it. I like it.
Oh, it's too much. Well, I appreciate that, and it's great to see exactly what the hockey team is doing, and that we can come in here and talk about quips and whatnot. But would he have a story about you?
You know, I don't know. I mean, behind the camera, I'm a little crazy, but when I get in front of the camera,
Really?
a little bit. If you didn't know that, I take what I do very seriously, and I love going to the Plattsburgh State games, like sitting up there in the press box. Honestly, the best seat in the house, and I'm not going to embarrass myself on television. Mike does that every single week, so there are no bad stories about me.
No bad stories
No
at
bad
all.
stories.
Come
I
on.
don't do
Come
anything
on.
wrong. My favorite Mike Warren thing, though, is every game, the national anthem plays, and we sit down. Before the game starts, he gives me the old fist bump. Every single time. Every single time, fist bump. And it's kind of comical because it got made fun of by a few people, but every single time, Mike Warren fist bump. It's just how it goes.
Dave Edwards, the oft-bearded but always comical. We thank you for joining us
Playoff
today.
beard.
Yeah, playoff
A little
beard's got the
early, but
playoff
a little
beard.
early.
A little early, but great to have you as well.
Yeah, hopefully I can come back. I mean, unless I get fired.
We'll definitely have you come back. I don't see that happening.
My salary's a little high.
We've got you inked until the end of this semester. We don't know if you'll be back after that.
I hope I'm not coming back, because if that's the case, I failed something.
Well, we hope you, and we thank you for all your endeavors, and hope you're doing very well there. It's definitely great to have you, as well as Josh. Maybe we can get everybody on at one time to do that. But that's all the time we have tonight. And let's talk about this for a minute. You realize we're wearing the pink. It's for breast cancer. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, how healthy you think you may are, go in, get checked. It could save your life. But that's going to do it for us tonight. I'd like to thank Josh Luttrell, Dave Edwards, and as well as Colleen Brandt for joining us tonight. And we say have a great night.